The high-value feminine way of resolving conflict. Hello, my name is Chengi, and you, my precious one, of course, are my world. Welcome to Chengi's World, right here where I teach you ladies how to present as a high-value, high-status, high-worth woman that men, high-quality men, find completely irresistible. Now, we are on the way to transitioning and becoming Black Swan Relationship Academy, because we're going to be shifting from advice to actual training and actual coaching on this channel. And you will be seeing not just me on this channel, but you will be seeing my coaches. We'll be here doing videos and giving you some training and some coaching and some advice. So look forward to that. We are having our launch on the 19th of June 2021 at 7 p.m. BST, and I'm going to have my dear darling friend RC Blakes with me. So if you want to claim your free seat, do go to the link in the description box below. For a VIP seat, you will be able to have a conversation with me after the event, and you can ask questions and we can get to know each other. So it's a bit of a meet and greet really after. It's a digital event, so you can actually stay in bed or stay at home and join us on the launch of Black Swan Relationship Academy. Moving forward, how do we resolve conflict in a high value feminine way? One of the things that we have to understand is, again, that the masculine man, the masculine energy man, and probably most people, but specifically the masculine energy man, is really a man who craves respect. And that is really how he validates himself, how he identifies himself, is how much respect can he receive, can he earn and have in his world. If a man feels, if a high value masculine man feels disrespected, doesn't matter how beautiful, how smart you are, how much you have to offer, if he feels disrespected, then his attraction for you will absolutely lower and die possibly. And so it's important that those moments that we have disagreements and conflicts, that we handle those with absolute care, and that we really develop our emotional mastery around these issues and really become very self-aware. Now, if you want to learn how to develop your emotional mastery, you'll be able to download that at the Academy. Or at the moment, you can download it on the website at chengisworld.co.uk/shop. You can download the Emotional Mastery Masterclass. But this is why a feminine woman has to be truly rooted and grounded emotionally. That doesn't mean that she doesn't feel, but she's actually more in touch with her feelings than a woman who is perhaps in her masculine energy. So at this point, we want to be able to acknowledge how we are feeling in this time of conflict. It's not really about the fact that we are having conflict. The best relationships are not brilliant because of the happy times and the good times and how long they can stretch out their happiness or how long they can stretch out their contentment. The very best relationships are actually defined by how well people fight, how well people argue, how well people handle conflict. Can we actually resolve conflict? Can we have conflict without tearing each other apart, without devaluing and invalidating one another? And this is an art form, and this is a skill. Doesn't matter how amazing the great moments are. When we have a fight, we really have to be careful when we're in conflict, that at the end of the day, we may not agree, but we have shown each other respect and cherishing. We have considered the other person's perspective. This channel is for women who love men and are trying to resolve conflict with them. I am aware that there are things that the masculine man has to do in order to allow the feminine to feel cherished, okay, during a moment of conflict. So both the masculine must never neglect the cherishing of the feminine, and the feminine must never neglect the respecting of the masculine. This is the only way that when we hold our positions, even in conflict, we can truly say this is a healthy, lasting relationship. So number one, what the feminine woman needs to understand is that she cannot speak over a man when he is speaking, even if he's fired up. It is not gonna help or escalate or make things any better if you start to shout or speak over him or try to get one over him. It's only going to be fuel in the fire. Why? Because when you come at a man, whether you're male or female, if you come at a man and you go directly for him, his natural instinct is to go into survival mode, and he will get into fight or flight mode. And because men are naturally competitive, conquering and controlling, he is going to rise up and fight. Okay, and when a man is in fight mode, he is not going to be able to be aware of how he is not cherishing you in that moment, because at this point, when we're raising voices, we're now in competitive energy. Who can do it better and win? The truth is, as a feminine woman, you're not as committed to winning as you are to being heard. Indeed, if you're a feminine woman watching this, it is truly your desire that you would be heard, and that you would be understood, and that you would be cherished. You will not go about that by raising your voice or be combative or being very, very direct with him about what it is that you are feeling. In this time of conflict, let us begin to examine, what do I feel? What is really going on the inside of me? One of the things that you will know about embodying feminine energy is really being connected and attuned with yourself. When you understand what is really at the heart and the core, what am I feeling? As he speaks to me, what am I feeling right now? Do I feel angry? Do I feel sad? Do I feel anxious? Do I feel neglected? What are these feelings, and really are they about what is going on in this moment? I will guarantee you that 99.9% of the arguments that couples have little to do with what the issue at hand. Often these are arguments that come from childhood trauma, issues of unworthiness as a child, things of neglect or abandonment, and we tend to give a great resounding reaction when we're triggered in the way that we were as children. And so a lot of this stuff and how we're truly able to manage it is to really be aware of ourselves. And this is why the Soulmate Attraction System course in the Academy is really powerful, because it allows the woman to connect and be attuned with herself, so that in any moment where emotions are heated and the air is really, really hot, she's really able to in that moment connect with herself and say, okay, what is this about? Now, what is really important at this point is to let him talk without rolling your eye in the back of your head or having attitude about it, albeit I know you are being triggered like a set of fireworks. At this time, it's really important to go into yourself and breathe. As he is speaking, breathe. Just breathe. Don't do any of the just to let him know that you're frustrated, but really take in deep and silent breaths, because when we're upset, we tend to breathe shallow. We have shallow breathing, and sometimes we even hold our breath, and that escalates and makes us even more anxious, because now we're even fighting for our lives in the middle of conflict. We don't realize that we've charged our body with all of these emotions and all of this neurochemistry that is just running through our bodies. So it's really important for you to just take the time to listen. Listen out, not for the words that he's speaking, but listen out for what he is really trying to say. And let it be that there is complete silence, because when we give him silence, when we give the masculine silence, he no longer feels he has to say a lot or even raise his voice. He will actually begin to hear the words that are coming out of his own mouth. He will start to hear and see himself better if we give him silence. This is not a sulking silence. This is a silence where we are saying, I hear you, I see you, I understand you. This is the essence of love. To be able to, in a moment where one would rather protect themselves, really hear and really see. Does that mean you have to agree? Does that mean you have to like it? Absolutely not. But you have to let the other person know that you hear them, that you see them. The next number 2 is when you have listened, what you want to do is repeat back to them what they have said to you. So, my darling, are you saying, or so Peter, because you're probably not in the mood to call him darling, I'm sure. So Peter, or so, let me just be clear that I understand what you were saying. You are saying blah, 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 blah. Am I right? Yes or no? No, well, da 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 da. Okay, let me explain this to you again. Do not try to state your point of view until you are clear that you have absolutely understood what he is saying. Even if you have to correct it, 1,000 times, because this is not about him. It's about you being sure that you have heard what he is saying, because you might find that as you repeat it back to him, that is actually not saying what you think he's saying, because half of the time it's the stories in our heads that are triggered and we stop hearing, we stop listening. And so you really want to take this next step and repeat back to him. Once he confirms that what you have said is the key, then you would say to him, thank you so much for expressing that. You have every right to feel, think, behave the way that you have. I would just like to ask you, I would like you to know that when you shout, it makes me feel anxious. When you come across as though you are angry and you yell at me, I feel anxious and I feel unsafe. And I would like for us to be able to have a conversation where we can hear each other. And right now I am feeling really, really unsafe. And right now I'm feeling really triggered, or right now I'm feeling really hurt. I'm feeling really sad. And what I might say might be laced with this feeling, but I would love for you to please listen to me, because there's something that I would like to share. And again, if you're not clear, please get back to me and let me know. Share your point of view is number 3, without pointing the finger. If we start saying you can, without blaming, let's put it that way, you can say, when you do A, B, C, D, E, F, G, I feel this way and the other way. And I would really prefer it if we would actually upgrade some of our strategies and do things differently. If you would like to write me a letter, or if you would like to send me a text, or whatever you feel would be the best form of communication for the two of you. Or I would rather we just sat down and spoke about it instead of going off on one. This way you are correcting the behavior and not just addressing it. It's one thing to address somebody, but how can we actually move forward? And then when you finish speaking to him, you would say, so what do you think? I would love to know what you think about what I've said. Half the time, by the time you even get to this third stage of conflict resolution, you will find that it probably had already died down and you were feeling better and he was feeling better at the first point, because you listening and actively listening is usually enough. Most times the argument just comes to nothing. Often when we are in our masculine energy, we are then driven to compete, to challenge, to push, to yell, to exert our authority. And this is never really received in the way that we want it to be received. We want him to respect our opinion, to cherish our feelings in this moment. But it is received as combat. It is received as a challenge. It is received as an opportunity to fight. And so as feminine women, we don't have to keep our mouths shut about things that we're not happy with, that we don't love. We can actually speak up. And speaking up means that we can actually say, this thing upsets me, without raising our voice and disrespecting our partner. In the same way as he can make his words known without making us as feminine women feel that we are not cherished. I hope that this video was really, really helpful for you. I want you to understand that the feminine woman is the one that holds the culture of the home. The feminine woman brings the environment of the home, and the feminine woman creates the atmosphere of the home. If you want peace to resonate and live in your home and in your relationship and in your dating life, then you have to be the one who comes bearing peace. Now, I hope, and I trust that you are high-value feminine women. The high-value women know how to vet and to verify that the man that they are giving this respect to is indeed worthy of that respect. She doesn't just choose one out of her hat and choose to respect him, but she does her due diligence. She dates consciously, she dates with integrity, and she dates deliberately. All of these things are really important. She doesn't just pick one up out of the hat. She's not the kind of girl who lives in scarcity. This is the kind of woman who knows when she's found a treasure and knows how to keep it by resolving conflict. If you need any help with your relationship or your situation where conflict has arisen and you want to know how to rescue it in a high value feminine way, then make no mistake, do contact me at chengisworld.co.uk/shop, and maybe at the time that you're watching this, it may be blackswanrelationshipacademy.com. Either way, the link will be in the description box below. We, my coaches and myself, and all of the trainers will be happy to hear from you and to guide you through this very difficult and painful time indeed. I hope that you will look after yourself, and in the meantime, take care of you. Love you lots.